Nice hair, Devin.
Oh. See, nobody told me. It's all mixed up. And nobody said nothing. And I'm like,
First thing,
buena sera.
before the gavel goes down, she's already on.
At least you're not recording this part.
No, we are.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so great. Oh. I hear you.
Good afternoon, welcome to the 31st meeting of the Honolulu Liquor Commission. I see that there are some minutes to approve. Commissioners, may I have a type of action?
Yeah, why don't you? Okay, my motion will be to approve the 18th. 11, 10, 22, and 20th, 12, 8, 22 meetings as previously circulated.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The minutes of the 18th and 20th meetings as previously circulated are approved. Moving into our hearing calendar, calling public hearings, agenda item number 2, transfer application number 22-24693 from Imperial Restaurant Consulting Inc.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Commissioners Devin Koba representing Imperial Consulting Inc., LLC. And to my right is Fabrizio, Fabrizio, Favale, Favale. He's a member manager for him.
You. Any other changes to investigative report or anything?
No.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received 0 written protests, 0 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application.
Is there anyone in the public who'd like to provide testimony on this agenda item number 1 at this time? Seeing and hearing none, commissioners.
I'm Mr. Nakoba, so I'm just confirming based off of, I know our prior preliminary hearing, right? Outdoor seating will be used, but you will not be using it as part of liquor service.
Yes, sir.
And then reading to the report, right, there was notices like based off of other establishments that had certain fines. I'm assuming it's not tied to that, but let's
No,
make
not
sure
at all.
let's make sure we don't have it. We want to make sure we're good, okay?
Yes, yeah, definitely.
I have another question.
I move we approve agenda item number 1, transfer application number 22-24693.
Second,
Is there a motion and a second? Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Transfer application number 22-24693 is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
thank you.
On agenda item number 2, transfer application number 22-24918 from Jack Alamoana LLC. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chairman Buckley, members of the commission, Naomi Pearl on behalf of Jack Alamoana. Present to my right is the manager, Mr. Kevin Yamazaki, spelled Yamazaki. We have no changes to the investigative report.
That's right.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received 0 written protests, 0 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application.
Is there anyone in the public who'd like to provide comments on this agenda item number 2? Hearing and seeing none, commissioners, questions, comments, type of action.
Just follow up from our preliminary hearing, Ms. Cole, right? The exterior seating area, you're gonna be using planters or something to delineate your liquor service area, correct?
Yes, there is already a half wall already built there.
I have another question.
There's only one ingress egress from that area.
Yes, there is.
And I move we approve agenda item number 2, transfer application number 22-24918.
Second,
We've got a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Transfer application number 22-24918 is approved. Thank you. Calling agenda item number 3, application number 22-24116 from K4 LLC.
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, Ms. Uri, I'm Robert Uyoka on behalf of MPK4 LLC to do business as Connie Kapila Grill at the Outrigger Reef. This time we have no changes to the group investigative report. Present to my right, Ms. Sarah Hill. She is the CEO and president of Handcrafted Restaurants. First name SARA, last name HILL.
Ms. Rai.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received zero written protests, zero letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application.
Is there anyone in the public who'd like to provide testimony on this matter? Hearing and seeing none, commissioners, any comments, questions, type of action?
Mr. Uyoka, in our preliminary hearing that it was discussed, right, that if the pool area is going to be used, then Outrigger itself will be searching or getting a separate special license. Is that correct?
If we have any events, we will get a special license. Outrigger does have a nonprofit foundation, so we will be temporarily deleting the premises for Outrigger if there are any special events. In the meantime, we'll have it.
Thank you. That's all the questions I have.
So to clarify, as you've done in the past, you'd have a temporary reduction and then you'd have a special event license that would be applied.
That's correct. Yes. I think we did it last time for Duke's Ocean Fest. That was a recent session of it.
I move we approve agenda item number 3, application number 22-24116.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-24116 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Calling agenda item number 4, application number 22-24631 from HSI Honolulu Joint Venture Company.
And Chair, members of the commission, Robert Uyoka on behalf of HMS Host, present to our right, Mr. Christopher Kadohiro, he's the Senior Director of Operations at HMS Host at Honolulu International Airport. We have no changes to the investigation report.
Thank you. Good afternoon. That's right.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received zero written protests, zero letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application.
That's right. Is there anyone in the public who'd like to provide testimony on this agenda item number 4? Hearing and seeing none, commissioners, any comments, questions, type of action?
I move we approve agenda item number 4, application number 22-24631.
second,
Been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-24631 is approved. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
If you could take the item out of order, I think I lagged at 16. Same.
And yes, thank you, Mr. Rai. Calling out of order agenda item number 16. Application number 23-01563 from HSI Honolulu Joint Venture Company.
Robert Uyoka on behalf of HMS Host, also present to my right, Mr. Christopher Kadohiro. He is the Senior Director of Operations. Sorry, I didn't spell his name for the first time, so I'll spell it right now. First name CHRISTOPHER, last name KADOHIRO. We have no changes in the investigation report. And this is for the temporary bar located in the Malka Concourse that we've been operating without any issues in lieu of the application that you just approved, Malka Marketplace. So we're going to continue this until the Malka Marketplace can open. We're still under construction.
I have no question.
I move we approve agenda item number 16, application number 23-01563.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 23-01563 is approved.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 5, application number 22-24779 from Ilua Honolulu LLC.
Afternoon, Chairman Buckley, members of the commission, Naomi Kroll on behalf of Upper Cafe. Present to my right is owner Miss Aya Maniwa, spelled Maniwa. We have no changes to the investigative report.
That's right.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received zero written protests, zero letters in support. Applicants met statutory requirements for the submission of this application.
Is there anyone who would like to provide testimony on agenda item number 5? Hearing and seeing none, Commissioner, any comments, questions, or type of action for this matter?
Yes, just Ms. Cole, based off of, our preliminaries. You had stated outdoor seating area, there'll be something like planters or something like that blocking that area, correct?
Yes, that's correct. There's planters there. There are 2 tables out there. It'll seat about 4 to 12 people, and there's planters all around that area.
And there's 2 doors in and out, correct? There's one on either side.
Yes.
That's all the questions I have.
Will we approve agenda item number 5, application number 22-24779?
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-24779 is approved. Calling agenda item number 6, application number 22-24912 from the Punt Wine Provisions LLC.
My name is Morgan Scott, MORGAN SCOTT, and I'm the owner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received zero written protests, zero letters of support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application.
Thank you. Is there anyone who would like to provide testimony on this agenda item number 6? Hearing and seeing none, Commissioners, any comments, questions, or type of action?
go ahead, no.
I remember this now that I've been here. So how's it going with your neighbors?
Oh, the neighbors are great. Everybody is super excited. And we built a separating wall. We lowered the square footage, built a separating wall with a door which locks, so nobody will be walking through the licensed space in order to get to their office in the morning.
And does that comport with the floor plan that you had filed?
Yes, it's in the supplemental investigative report, and I believe it is exhibit C. I also C and D. So it shows the path where people will walk. It'll also show the path which my husband will take going from upstairs to downstairs and into his office without walking through the shop.
Little
And then I
underwater.
put in lots of pictures for you guys.
Yes. Thanks for-
So Ms. Scott, I just wanted to say thank you for, taking some of our concerns or issues into play in regards to your floor plan. That's very, very good. We don't want people walking there, shouldn't be there. The other thing that I think on your first report that you had, you were looking at a certain open and close time, but people may be able to contact you outside of those closed times. Is that something you're still gonna do? Or are you just gonna list an open and
I'm
closed
just going to
time?
do the opening and close time. I'm hoping to have a little bit of flexibility based on what my neighborhood needs, but we'll just have an official open and closing.
I mean, it's on my end, it's only safer for you. I mean, I know there's certain times that you can from start to finish serve. It's just if you're technically open or closed and someone has, we don't want to, you don't want to have a problem for yourself in the license space. later.
Absolutely not. And I mean, I'm well in bed by the time those hours are met, so no problem.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
I move we approve agenda item number 6, application number 22-24912.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-24912 is approved. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Moving into special license applications, calling agenda item number 7, application number 23-01462-1 through 23-01462-3 inclusive from Kelly O'Neill's LLC.
Good afternoon. The owner, applicant John Langham, as well with counsel Wayne Luke. There are no changes in investigators report.
Commissioner.
This is to take up the gap days between the second temp when he plans to pick up the license.
This is through March 28th. Is that correct?
I move we approve agenda item number 7, application number 23-01462-1 through 23-01462-3.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none. I also vote aye. The motion carries. Applications number 23-01462-1 through 23-01462-3 inclusive are approved. Thank you, gentlemen. Calling agenda item number 8, applications number 23-01522-1 through 23-01522-5 from One Team Restaurant AMC LLC DBA Wahlburgers. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commission members. Kenneth Cooper appearing for the applicant. To my right is Robert Phillips, spelled Phillips. He's the general manager of the applicant. The applicant has been operating under a temporary license at the premises since August of last year. No problems.
Comments, questions? You know where you are in the permanent application process?
The public hearing is scheduled for March 30th.
March 30th. So this will get you there.
Yes.
Okay, I move we approve agenda item number 8, applications number 23-01522-1 through 23-01522-5.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Applications number 23-01522-1 through 23-01522-5 inclusive are approved.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 9. Applications number 23-01525-1 through 23-01525-40 inclusive from Kahala Senior Living Community.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, Mr. Rai. I'm Robert Uyoka on behalf of Kahala Nui. Present to my right, Mr. Craig Courts. He's the CEO and president of Kahala Nui. First name CRAIG, last name COURTS. This time we have no changes to investigative report. We've been operating under special license with no issues. We have a pending club application pending filed in May 2022. We hasn't been scheduled for a hearing, but we're hoping to get scheduled soon.
Has not for preliminary.
Not yet.
This application will get you into July.
Yes.
Questions, comments, types of action?
I know you had one previously, right?
We had 2 previous.
And you haven't had any issues
No
through
issues.
those things, correct?
Right, we're a nonprofit corporation.
I have no other questions.
Wild folks at Kahala Nui. I move we approve agenda items number 9, applications number 23-152-1 to 23-1525-40.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Applications number 23-01525-1 through 23-01525-40 inclusive are approved.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you. Calling agenda item number 10, application number 23-01528 from Pools and Catering by Senior Blending.
Hi, good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Sam Malero, General Manager for Pools and Catering by Sinubla.
Good afternoon. Could you just walk us through this event?
So for this application, first birthday, we are utilizing the ballroom and the courtyard for this one. Pretty easy event. We shouldn't be expecting any issues.
Off the floor plan, Mr. Lero, just to make sure the bar is located outdoor in the courtyard.
Yes, in the courtyard, close to the main entrance. There's a couple pillars there. And the way we kind of huddle the guests in will make them go straight into the courtyard instead of turning that right. So we can keep that area open.
That's the only question I have. Thank you.
I move we approve agenda item number 10, application number 23-0152E.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 23-01528 is approved. Calling agenda item number 11, application number 23-01529 from Pools and Catering by Cena Inc.
Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Sam Malero, General Manager for Pools and Catering by Cineblank.
Good afternoon. Could you walk us through this event?
So this event, 50th birthday, we are utilizing the courtyard again. And pretty straightforward like the other one. For the most part, there's not going to be too many kids for this event.
Probably less so than the first one.
Way less. Way less. She specifically said no kids, so we're like, okay, we'll see.
Sneaking him in.
Yeah.
Other questions?
I move we approve agenda item number 11, application number 23-01529.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 23-01529 is approved.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 12, application number 23-01561 from Pools and Catering by Cena Inc.
Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Sam Malero, General Manager for Pools and Catering by Cineblank.
Good afternoon. Could you walk us through this event, please?
So this one is a networking event, not so much folks, and we're only utilizing the courtyard. It's more so to, like it says, networking, meeting folks, and just providing a little poo-poo food for the night.
It says minors in attendance, but from your description, it sounds like there may not be any.
No, most likely not.
I move we approve agenda item number 12, application number 23-01561.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 23-01561 is approved.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 13, application number 23-01562 from Pools and Catering by Cena Inc.
Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Sam Malero, General Manager for Pools and Catering by Cineblank.
Good afternoon. Could you walk us through this event, please?
So for this event, it's a boxing event. We had this client before. The first two, it was mostly kids with the matches. This one is going to be a mix with adults. So since they are having alcohol for this event, we're not utilizing just private security, but also HPD.
This is a general admission ticket.
Yes.
You have 6 to 8 private security personnel and then the HPD on top.
And then the HPD should be at least 2 or 3, I believe.
The only question I have is for the match itself, the ring for the boxing is gonna be inside the ballroom,
Yes, Commissioner, inside the ball,
and then the bar is located outside.
outside in the courtyard.
Okay.
Is the ring signified by the circle on the in the ballroom?
Yes. Not sure why my admin person made a circle.
Boxing fan, like
Yeah.
That's all the questions I had.
I move we approve agenda item number 13, application number 23-01562.
Second.
Then a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 23-01562 is approved.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 14, application number 23-01564 from Pools and Catering by Cena Inc.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Sam Malero, General Manager for Pools and Catering by Cineblank.
Good afternoon. Could you walk us through this final event?
Okay, so this event, just a simple ballroom dinner. However, I just got an email about this one. They're postponing it till September. But it should pretty much stay the same. If anything, they'll be dropping the count.
So this application is for Saturday, April eighth. Do you want us to
Well,
amend that date, or do you want us to approve this and you'll come back in later with the different?
Yeah, we can go ahead and approve it, then I'll set the paperwork for the amending.
Any other questions?
Move we approve agenda item number 14, application number 22-3-01564.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 23-01564 is approved.
Thank you, Commissioners. Have a good one.
Moving into temporary license applications, calling agenda item number 5, application number 22-24755 from Yoon Kyun Young, DBA Fleming Store.
Yes, may the record reflect Wayne Luke of the council for application number 22-24755.
Thank you, Mr. Luke. In this matter, we had continued for 30 days because there was a pending issue of law that we wanted to have discussed and analyzed by corporate counsel. We unfortunately don't have a response from corporate counsel at this time, so we're going to continue this matter until the next available hearing date.
Okay,
That should be, there's no calendar hearing next week, so it should be the week following. So,
Alright.
Mr. I, we will continue agenda item number 15 to the next available hearing date.
I'll go ahead and set it for the 16th, or do you want the
no, further down,
23rd, 30?
23rd or 30 will be fine. Yes,
You have your.
Roselle, what do you want to?
what's that?
Either the 23rd or the 30th. Mr. Luke doesn't care which of those. Do you want me?
We'll
to
make
put-
it March 30th then,
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
So agenda item number 15 is continued to the March 30th calendar date.
Thank you.
Thank you. Could I have type of action for agenda item number 17?
for adoption of findings of fact, conclusions of law, decision and order for agenda item number 17.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Findings of fact, conclusions of law, decision and order for agenda item number 17 is approved. Similarly, commissioners, could I have type of action for agenda item number 18 through 20 included?
Motion for adoption of decision and order for agenda items 18 through 20 inclusive.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Decision and order is approved for agenda item number 18 through 20 inclusive. Before we head into adjudications, we'd just like to take a 5-minute quick reset.
Okay, well, we can work out the little, yeah.
We are back on the record. Thank you for allowing a brief recess. We'll move into our adjudication hearings.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thomas Knapsinger, Deputy Corporation Counsel on behalf of the City and County of Honolulu.
Good afternoon. Calling agenda item number 21, LCB 22-0147 Club Sundance. Ma'am? Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
My name is MAINTUYEN.
Mr. Knapsinger, could you please read the charges?
Charge 1, on or about November 1st, 2022, in the City and County of Honolulu, State of Hawaii, licensee allowed the obstruction, hampering, or interfering with investigations or liquor commission operations in any way, including but not limited to the sounding of alarm, flashing of lights, or use of a public address system or other advance warning announcing the arrival of commission investigators in violation of Rule 3-84-79.1 of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the City and County of Honolulu. Charge 2. On or about November 2nd, 2022, in the City and County of Honolulu, State of Hawaii, licensee failed to ensure that its employee Anne Marie Carey, who is required to register with the commission, have her certificate of registration for the licensed premises readily available for inspection while on duty in violation of Rule 3-82-38.5 subsection E of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the City and County of Honolulu. Charge 3, on or about November 2, 2022, in the City and County of Honolulu, State of Hawaii, licensee permitted its dancer Nina LaRue Sherrill, for whose conduct licensee is strictly accountable under Rule 384-78.01A, to perform in the licensed premises in an area other than on a permanently affixed stage at least 18 inches above the immediate floor level, to wit, dancing in a restroom, in violation of Rule 3-84-78.02 subsection B of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the City and County of Honolulu.
Two in?
Two
in.
Yes.
Just two in. How would you like to plead for charge 1? You can accept the charge, deny the charge, or plead no contest.
No content.
Okay. Mr. Chair, would you like me to do all 3 charges and then we take one motion for all 3?
I think that'd be a good idea. Thank you.
Ms. Twin, how would you like to plead for charge 2? Accept the charge, deny the charge, or plead no contest?
Plead no content.
And same for charge number 3. Accept the charge, deny the charge, or plead no contest.
Plead no content.
Motion to accept the plea for charge 1, charge 2, and charge 3.
Second.
There a motion and a second, any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries, the pleas are accepted.
Mr. Knapsinger, what is your recommendation for each of the charges, please?
For charge 1, the recommended fine is $1,000. For charge 2, the recommended fine is $350. For charge 3, the recommended fine is $500. All 3 charges are a first violation.
Mr. Twin, do you have any explanations for each of the charges? My motion will be to approve the recommended fine of $1,000 for charge 1, as well as to approve the recommended fine of $350 for charge 3, and charge 2, sorry, and then also for charge 3 to motion to approve the recommended fine of $500.
Second.
There a motion and a second, any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye, the motion carries. A fine of $1,000 will be issued for charge number 1, a fine of $350 will be issued for charge number 2, and a fine of $500 will be issued for charge number 3 and agenda item number 21. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 22, LCV 22-0157 Club Wave.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the Commission, Keith Yuchi. for the licensee. To my right is Yoon, E-U-N, Sun, S-O-O-N, Yoon, Y-O-O-N. She is the manager of the establishment under an approved services agreement. We waive reading of the charge and our plea of no contest.
Motion to accept the plea.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The plea accepted.
Mr. Nabziger, your recommendations for,
This violation occurred on December 17, 2022, when licensee failed to have an adequate time card for 3 of its employees. This is a first violation. The recommended fine is $250.
security
Yeah,
explanations?
one of the employees was a bartender that was sick that day and didn't, fortunately didn't clock in. And Ms. Yoon has been trying her best to fulfill her obligations under the services agreement. And it was an oversight on her part. It won't happen again. She has had some difficulty with the premises because there have been some challenges. This is the old, for lack of a better word, Quonset hut over at Mokala and Mova. So this is one of the few bars where it really does leak from the roof. So she's had some challenges trying to deal and pay for that. So, and I don't often see managers show up for violations, but to her credit, she has today. So.
Mr. Nessinger, is this the first time offense you think?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Kiuchi, there's 3, right? There's actually 3 people, right, that
Right.
didn't have a time card.
That's
Okay,
correct.
so, make sure you talk with your client, make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen again. My motion is going to be to issue a letter of reprimand for agenda item number 22.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. A letter of reprimand will be issued for agenda item number 22.
Thank you very much.
Calling agenda item number 23, LCU 22-0152, Couple Lake Golf Course. Afternoon. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
My name is Jim Sweeter, S-W-I-E-T-E-R. And I'm the general manager at Couple Lake Golf Club.
So now, Singer, can you please read the charge?
On or about December 2nd, 2022, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, licensee failed to have an employee duly registered with the Liquor Commission as a manager or assistant manager of the premises on which he or she is employed in active charge of the licensed premises in violation of Rule 3-82-38.9 subsection A of the rules of the Liquor Commission of the city and county of Honolulu.
Mr. Sweeter,
Yes.
is that correct? Okay, how would you like to plead for the charge? You can accept the charge, deny the charge, or plead no contest.
Clarification, actually, because the clubhouse restaurant was closed, the snack bar was closed where we serve alcohol.
Sorry, we have to have a plea before we have explanation.
Okay, denied it. That charge.
Because you've denied the charge, we'll have to set this for a contested case hearing at a future calendar date. There are a set of rules that we can read to you now, procedural rules.
Okay.
For that contested case hearing, you'll also receive a set of those procedural rules in the.
Okay.
You have a copy of that.
Hold on. Second. Okay, so I'll read them, but you also will get these in the mail.
Okay.
So since you have pled not guilty and wish to return for a contested hearing, there are a few procedures that the commission requires you to follow. First, 7 days before the contested hearing, both the prosecution and the licensee must disclose to each other their proposed exhibits. Exhibits that are not timely disclosed may not be considered at the contested hearing. Second, the parties must disclose to each other the names of all witnesses, and the proposed testimony of each witness is 7 days before the contested hearing. Witnesses that are not timely disclosed may not be allowed to testify at the contested hearing. Third, each party's exhibits must be uploaded to the Liquor Commission's Google Drive by 4 p.m. on the Wednesday before the contested hearing. Information on how that can be accomplished will be provided to the parties and will be available on the Liquor Commission's website. If you have physical evidence that cannot be uploaded to the Google Drive, please be sure to let both the Liquor Commission and the other party know. As a reminder to each party, personal information such as medical information, social security numbers, birth dates, or bank account numbers must be redacted by the party whose exhibit contains that information. Okay, so you'll get a notice in the mail, which will ask sale of that as well as dates, I believe. But
Yeah. So this agenda item number 23 will be continued to a next available calendar date for a contested case hearing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 24, LCV 22-0148 Livestock Tavern, the Chin Chin Bar. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, Mia Oceana, on behalf of the licensee. At this time, we will waive reading of the charge, enter a plea of no contest.
motion to accept the plea.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The plea is accepted.
Mr. Knapsinger, your recommendations?
This violation occurred on November 4th, 2022, when licensee permitted liquor to be open and readily consumable after hours at 2:06 a.m. This is a second violation. The first violation occurred on September 1st, 2018, which resulted in a $750 fine. The recommended fine for this violation is $810, which consists of a $750 base fine and a $60 surcharge for the 6 minutes over.
Ms. Oceana, any explanations?
Yeah, speaking to my client, this was a relatively new employee who just did not remove the items in a timely manner. That employee has since been let go from the establishment, no longer works there. Everybody's gone through retraining and reminders about what time items need to be taken off the floor, but this one was neglected, so we're entering a no contest plea at this time.
Okay. Thank you for talking to your client. Make sure they know, right?
Yes.
Because it is a second, right? My
Yes.
motion will be to approve the recommended fine of $810 for agenda item 24.
Second.
Then a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. A fee of $810 will be imposed for agenda item number 24.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 25, LCV 23-0001 Mana Plus Pool.
And then Ashley Hutchison, ASHLEIGH. Hutchison, HUTCHISON.
Mr. Knapsmer, can you please read the charge?
On or about December 20th, 2022, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, licensee failed to have an employee duly registered with the Liquor Commission as a manager or assistant manager of the premises on which he or she is employed, in active charge of the licensed premises in violation of Rule 3-82-38.9 subsection A of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the city and county of Honolulu.
Mrs. Hutchinson, correct?
Miss Hutchison, yes.
Ms. Hutchison. How would you like to plead for the charge? You can accept the charge, deny the charge, or plead no contest.
No contest.
Motion to accept the plea.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The plea is accepted.
Mr. Knapsinger, your recommendations, please.
This is a first violation. The recommended fine is $500. I will also note for the commission that no employees have been registered for Manapua as of today.
That will all be changed as of tomorrow. So we've had the employee that was there that day was filling in and helping out. She's very part-time. It was perfect error. You are correct. We did not finish our licenses yesterday. Tomorrow, everybody will be licensed by 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Guaranteed.
Alright. Well, thank you for, moving forward, making sure everybody's licensed. Again, this was what, 4 months ago, so that's the harder part, but my motion will be to approve the recommended fine of $500 for agenda item number 25.
Second.
Then a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. A fine of $500 will be imposed for agenda item number 25.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 26, LCV 22-0150 Nico's. Agenda item number 26, Nico's.
Item 23 -0020.
Nope, we got Nico's up. That's okay, sorry.
Good afternoon, Nico Chaize, Chaize, chef owner of Nico's Restaurant.
Mr. Nabziger, can you please read the charge?
On or about November 14, 2022, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, licensee failed to have a duly registered manager in active charge of the licensed premises during the time the establishment is licensed to sell or serve liquor in violation of Rule 3-82-38.9 subsection A of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the city and county of Honolulu.
Mr. Chaize, is that correct? How I'm pronouncing it?
Perfect. I'm just gonna chef launch.
Mr. Chaize, how would you like to plead for the charge? You can accept the charge, deny the charge, no context.
No.
Motion to accept the plea.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing seeing none. I also vote aye. The motion carries. The plea is accepted.
Mr. Nabziger, what is your recommendation?
This is a first violation. The recommended fine is $500.
Mr. Chaize, any explanations?
I was here that day. My manager was there also. My GM was there also. My manager, the day manager card just expired that week. She had an appointment for next Monday. My GM was there. She showed her card to the inspectors, who, by the way, was training somebody who was doing the right job. Was making sure he's showing the examples of the training. But he didn't accept my GM's card because he said, I don't know if she's working or not. Managers are not punch in and punch out employee, they are on salary. So we do not punch in and punch out. We wanted to see you punch in, punch out on the POS. Well, because we punch in and punch out on the POS, we're not doing temp card anymore. So because of that, we did what we're doing right now since that day, which is having all manager talking on the writing paper. So next time the inspector comes in, we can show them what's happening. I was here and I tried to explain to him, if she's here counting money, she's obviously working. Okay. But he was doing his job, which is he was training somebody. So I couldn't fight anymore. So he gave us a warning.
The GM was checked in under your POS system. Is that correct?
No, she's not. Managers do not check in, do not punch in and punch out. Managers are salary position.
Correct.
Just
So they
like
didn't sign
you.
in under any
No,
physical.
that's why we
or
did.
POS
That's why we
system.
did that. Okay. Right after the visit. And I was also there. So if the owner telling the inspector that this person is working for me and she is actually working, and he doesn't believe me, it's a little hard to work with those people. But like I said, he was training somebody, so he was doing his job, which is by the book. That's my story. It's not a sad story, it's just first time happened to me.
Mr. Nabziger, is there anything in the file that someone else did provide their card to an investigator?
So I will note in the investigative report that investigators showed up at approximately 8:47 a.m. They spoke with the owner, Nicholas Chaize, who stated that one of the managers is currently in the back office, but won't clock in until 9 o'clock a.m. He added that she's a salary employee and does not have a time card. Manager's blue card was presented. However, the manager was off duty and said that they were not clocking in until 9 o'clock.
She was not off duty, she was working. I just want to make sure. I don't push my people to come to work for free for me. When they physically at work, they obviously work. Especially with counting money in front of the inspector.
So I guess my question to you, Mr. Chavez, is, so the license space, right, is out there. Was there any manager in the license space, not counting somewhere else or in a back office, that was there that had a card that was active
Yes.
in the license
Yes,
space?
it gets tricky because this person is in fish market, which is the space where we serve breakfast in the morning at the restaurant's closed. And she had a manager card, but that's a retail license.
Okay.
But she knows the deal about the bar. If it's we don't serve alcohol until 10 o'clock anyway, so there's no serving. It's a tricky thing because it's a restaurant with a retail inside. There's not too many places. like that.
Yeah.
And breakfast is served out of a fish market, not out of a restaurant. I tried to explain all that, but it's complicated. I understand.
Mhm. Yeah.
But it's fixed.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
Yeah.
said, I get it now, so I'm not doing that anymore.
Okay, so my motion is going to be to to incur a fine of $250 for agenda item number 26.
Second.
Then a motion and a second, any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye, the motion carries. $50 will be imposed for agenda item number 26. Calling agenda item number 27, LCV 22-0151, Pandora Cafe Karaoke Bar and Grill.
Again, good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. The for the licensee to my right is Rilo Agno, RYLO AGNO. He's the owner of the licensee. We waive reading of all 5 charges and plead as follows: as to charge 1, 2, 3, and 4, we enter pleas for no contest. As to charge 5, we enter a denial. And ask that be set for an adjudication hearing, although attempt to work that out with Mr. Nafsing.
Okay, so we'll take charge number 5 first. Since you have denied the charge, we will set that for a contested case hearing.
Right.
At the next available calendar date. Would you waive reading of the procedural rules?
Yes, thank you.
So charge 5 of agenda item number 27 is continued to the next available calendar date for a contested case hearing. We'll move back to charges 1 through 4.
Okay, so Mr. Nabzinger, what are your recommendations
We'll
for,
probably have to.
oh, sorry, motion to accept the plea for charge 1 through 4.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Plea of no contest will be entered for charges 1 through 4 of agenda item number 27.
Mr. Nabzinger, what are your recommendations for charges 1 through 4?
Would the commission prefer to do the penalty phase at the contested case hearing?
So I think it's wise to do the penalty phase at that point, but I also think it's wise for somewhere to show what has been determined, because there has been a few times that I recall that we come back to a single charge and we do not know what the prior 4 charges were issued fines of.
I'm okay with doing the penalty phase today because the charge 5 may work itself out. So you want to proceed that way, I'm fine with that.
Everyone else is okay with that. Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Nabzinger.
For charge 1, this violation occurred on October 28th, 2022, when licensee failed to have adequate time card for its employee, Andrew Lilo. This is a first violation. The recommended fine is $250. Charge 2 occurred on the same date when licensee failed to make time record entries for its employee, Charmaine Morales. This is also a first violation with a recommended fine of $250. Charge 3, which occurred on the same date when licensee failed to indicate on the time card its employee was a minor. This is a first violation with a recommended fine of $250. For charge 4, licensee employed Andrew Lilo without said employee being properly registered with the commission. This is a first violation. The recommended fine is $350.
And Mr. Kiuchi, do you have any explanations? for
Yes.
1 through 4?
Yeah, I think, well, for charges 1 and 2, we would admit that the bouncer, which is charge 1, and the staff member, charge 2, were not clocked in. So the way that's been rectified is the manager on duty will be checking daily when the shift starts to make sure that everyone is clocked in, and the manager on duty will be checking when the shift ends to make sure everybody clocks out. So it's more a matter of remedying that than anything else. The underage staff member did not have minor next to her name. That has been corrected on the time card. As to 4, that person was a bouncer. He went in, he got his liquor card. So now they have two bouncers and both of them have liquor cards. So it's been rectified. It was the best way for me.
Mr. Kyuchi, these are all first time offenses. How long has this licensee been in business?
He's been there 8 years.
Yes.
Yeah, 8 years. So you're not familiar with the premises. This is the old, and he doesn't like me saying this, the old Do-Re-Mi karaoke that was not a licensed premises. It was kind of infamous because they were open till like 6 a.m. in the morning. So I kind of think he improved the neighborhood, but yeah, Rival's pretty serious about stuff. So yeah, I mean, he's been here 7, 8 years and he has violations. At least of this type, yeah.
So, Mr. Kyuchi, correct me if I'm wrong, charge one is Andrew Lilo. And it
Yes,
says that wasn't allegedly
clocked in,
but
correct.
then he was also the bouncer that night.
That's correct. And that's
Okay.
charge 4 because he didn't have a liquor card.
He didn't have a liquor card. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go through in each individual one and make my motion on each individual one. You wanna take one motion at the end of all of them? You wanna do individually? Okay, so for charge one, my motion will be to issue a letter of reprimand. For charge number 2, my motion will be to issue a letter of reprimand. Charge number 3, my motion is going to be to approve the recommended fine of $250. And for charge 4, my motion will be to approve the recommended fine of $350.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. A letter of reprimand will be issued for charge 1. A letter of reprimand will be issued for charge 2. A fine of $250 will be imposed for charge 3, and a fine of $350 will be in charge for charge would be imposed for charge 4 of agenda item number 27.
Just for the commission's information, we're not going to reduce those 4 charges to a DNO until the 5th matter
That's fine.
is disposed of, and then it'll be a single document.
Calling agenda item number 28, LCV 22-0149 Smith Union Bar.
Again, good afternoon, Chair, members of the commission, Keith Kyuchi for the licensee. Waive reading of the charge. We're going to deny the charge. Set for an adjudication hearing. I'll waive the procedures. This is going to be a very short adjudication hearing. I'm going to stipulate to what Mr. Singer's got, and my expectation is my client, Mr. Lockwood, will show up and say why he's kind of not happy with the violations, probably where that's the way I could put it. So
Thank you, Mr. Kyuchi. So agenda item number 28 will be continued to the next available hearing date for a contested case hearing.
yes, thank you.
Calling agenda item number 29, LCV 22-0146 Underdogs Sports Bar and Grill. Calling agenda item number 29. Please call the home. Mr. Nessing, there's no appearance for agenda item number 29 for the license.
We would request entry of default.
Is there not?
Ask for the I'm sorry.
No.
The service information.
Yeah, no, so I was going to say, Mr. Ramsey, do you have confirmation that someone was served or got the information in regards to this hearing today?
Yes, so Nancy Jun Lee, the manager, was served with the notice of hearing on February 17th, 2023, and signed it.
Motion to approve default judgment for agenda item number 29.
Second.
There's been a motion in a second. Any objections, reservations? Hearing or seeing none. I also vote aye. The motion carries. An entry of default. Default will be entered for agenda item number 29.
Mr. Nabzin, your recommendations.
This violation occurred on October 22nd, 2022, when licensee permitted liquor to be open and readily available after hours at 2:10 a.m. This is a first violation with a $600 recommended fine, which includes a $500 base fine and a $100 surcharge for the 10 minutes over.
To approve the recommended fine of $600 for agenda item number 29.
Second.
And a motion and a second, any objections, or reservations, hearing seeing none, I also vote aye, the motion carries, a fine of $600 will be imposed for agenda item number 29. Calling agenda item number 30, LCV 23-0002, Uncles at Pearl Ridge LLC.
Good afternoon. Bates, BATES.
Mr. Nabzinger, can you please read the charge?
On or about December 28, 2022, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, licensee failed to have an employee duly registered with the Liquor Commission as a manager or assistant manager of the premises on which he or she is employed, in active charge of the licensed premises in violation of Rule 3-82-38.9, subsection A of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the city and county of Honolulu.
Bates, how would you like to plead? You could deny the charge, accept the charge, deny the charge, or plead no contest.
I plead no contest.
Motion to accept the plea.
Second.
Is there a motion and a second, any objections or reservations, hearing seeing none, I also vote aye, the motion carries, the plea is accepted.
Mr. Nabzinger, your recommendations, please.
This is a first violation. The recommended fine is $500.
Mr. Bates, any explanations?
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity and for your time today. I'm the operations director of the restaurant, which means that I serve as liaison between the owner and the floor managers. Our general manager had left our employee on the 15th of December. At that point, we had not yet been able to hire another manager, so I stepped in to take over that duty. At that time, I did not have a blue card, and I wasn't able to attain one until the 6th of January, which was my first day available. So my predicament was that I needed to be there to run the business in lieu of the fact that we didn't have another manager.
Mr. Bates, from when your manager left on December 15th, 2022 through January 6th, when you got a card, were you folks serving alcohol?
Yes, sir.
Does it, Mr. Nabzinger, is there anything in the file currently showing that they do have people registered with the Liquor Commission? If there isn't, that's fine, but
I do not think I have their employee listing.
okay. So I mean, obviously, right, when the reason for having a manager there is to make sure everything's being done correctly. Yeah, and I mean, I'm glad that you went and got your card, because obviously you're needed there as make sure the business, but it's cool. You were serving alcohol without someone that had a card while you were there, so that is pretty not great, so.
Right. As further explanation, all of my bartenders presently have cards. The managers on duty that have hiring have blue cards.
Okay.
I understand that I was in violation of the rule that I tell them they must be obligated to follow.
Okay.
I apologize.
My motion is going to be to approve the recommended fine of $500 for agenda item number 30.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second, any objections or reservations, hearing seeing none, I also vote aye, the motion carries, a fine of $500 will be imposed for agenda item number 30.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 31, LCV 22-0099, New Green Tea.
Again, good afternoon, Chair, members of the commission, Keith Mucci for the licensee. As to both, to charge 31, we waive reading of the charge in the enter a plea of no contest.
Motion to accept the plea.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second, any objections, reservations, hearing seeing none, I also vote aye, the motion carries, the plea is accepted.
So now, your recommendations for.
This violation occurred on March 2nd, 2022, when licensee failed to notify the commission within 30 days of a change in officer or director. This is a first violation. The recommended fine is $500.
Mr. Kiuchi, explanations.
Yeah, so the change was removing Oktaxin, OKTAEKSIM, as a director. That was done in January of 2020. That was not done by the licensee, that was done by the bookkeeper. There was a change the year before in June 19, 2019 with DCCA, where Ms. Sim was no longer an officer, but she was a director only. That approval was submitted to the commission on February 26, 2019, and was approved by the commission. And that was done by my office, both on DCCA as well as with the commission. So the licensee herself was unaware that the bookkeeper had done the annual filing and removed Ms. Sim as a director.
Was the actions by the bookkeeper in error? Or was that correct that she was removed?
No, it was not, because when we eventually Ms. Sim was removed as a shareholder. And what Mr. Sato flagged is that our application was incorrect. And he's right, it was incorrect because she was already removed. So no, it wasn't authorized by me. It wasn't authorized by the licensee. The bookkeeper did it, and mistakes happen. So
This is just the update of your DCCA, but annual.
yeah, it's just the update. It's not the change. So the change that we made was in June, and this is after we sent the request in.
So if I can put it another way, are you stating that Ms. Sim was still a director on the date of the violation?
That was the agreement, because Ms. Sim, essentially, the way we structured the deal is she sold the business to Ms. Tagawa. But she had to remain as a director in the business as long as she was a shareholder, and that was the deal, so. That's what happened. Ms. Sim had no involvement in the business after Ms. Tagawa took over, but initially, the reason I pled, I denied because I wanted to see, and Mr. Nafziger and I had a conversation this week, but that's the specific violation.
So. I guess one thing I would want to make a comment, Mr. Kichi, make sure your client understands going forward, right? That they need to make sure their bookkeeper is turning in the right information. Because otherwise we're gonna have problems like this again somewhere along the line.
And this is a bookkeeper I normally trust. This is the old George Yamaguchi office, Melrose County. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
But yeah, because normally we only work with 2 accounting offices.
Yeah.
So, but it happened.
Mhm. But technically, right, it was an oversight by the bookkeeper.
Right, it was not the licensee. In fact, she was in my office yesterday and she said, I got charged with what? I said, yeah.
Yeah, so my motion is going to be to issue a letter of reprimand for agenda item number 31.
Second.
Is there a motion and a second? Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. A letter of reprimand will be issued for agenda item number 31. Calling agenda item number 32, LCB 22-0109, New Green Tea, Mr. Kyuchi.
Again, good afternoon, Chair, members of Commission, Keith Kyuchi for the licensee. We waive reading of the charge and we enter a plea of no contest.
Motion to accept the plea.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The plea is accepted.
Mr. Nafziger, your recommendations, please.
This violation occurred on August 18, 2022, when licensee had tabletop gaming devices without prior authorization. In this case, they had authorization for 4 machines. However, they had a total of 7 within the premises. This is the first violation. The recommended fine is $500.
Okay. It's all for law. And
Can I ask what a Nexus tabletop?
okay,
Okay,
so
good.
very good question. So there is a difference. So there are 3 versions of machines that look like Vegas machines. So if you go to Las Vegas and you have a machine and you can play Keno, poker, bingo, the different games. Okay. There are 3 versions of that machine. The pot of gold machine is the one you'll see come up a lot because the pot of gold machine is not legal. The reason it's not legal because it's got a cash out button on the bottom. The Nexus and Mega Touch machines are almost identical, except there's one big difference. The Nexus machines spit out a voucher showing your credits, the other one doesn't, it's on the screen. So that's the three machines. So this establishment actually had approval for 10 Mega Touch machines and 4 Nexus machines. But when the investigators went in, they had 7 Nexus machines. And my client said that she was told when she bought the place that they were approved for 7 machines. Honestly, my client doesn't know the difference between the Nexus and Mega Touch machines, but she should. So this is one of those where she should know better because she owns the place. But she's actually got more approved. And as far as what we're going to do going forward, I'm working with administration now. And there's a couple of solutions: either get the other 3 machines approved and we drop the 10 Mega Touch, or the other alternative is like get the vendor to go change it.
You don't have any of the Mega Touch, although you're approved for 10, you don't have any of the actual.
She does not have any Mega Touch. The Mega Touch machines from the clients that I represent that have dealt with those machines are not as I put it, like in up to date in terms of software or playability as the Nexus machines. That's why the Nexus machines. So throughout the bars, there were approval letters for different bars for Nexus and Mega Touch machines.
So she has approval for 14 machines, but they were not the correct machines.
No, they were not the correct machines.
Yeah. So, Mr. Nasir, you said there was a total of 7 machines,
That's correct.
and she had a right to have 4.
Correct. She had a right to have, correct. So she had 3 Nexus machines that should not have been in there. That is correct.
Yeah, she had rules for 10 touch machines, and there's
Mega Touch,
Mega
yeah.
Touch, and there's 7, right? Yeah. Mr. Kiuchi, my question to you is this: she knows the difference of the machines now, right?
She does.
Yeah.
After yesterday, she does.
Okay. But ultimately, right, I mean, like you said, right, she's in charge of it, she's there. But we are in the process of getting things corrected, so that's great, so we won't have these problems in the future. But it'll be a little bit costly, so my motion is going to be to approve the recommended fine of $500 for agenda item number 32.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second, any objections or reservations? Hearing seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. A fine of $500 will be imposed for agenda item number 32.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Nessing. Moving to other business, agenda item number 33, liquor administrator, Mr. Ryan.
For the legislative update, I don't have anything to add to what was appended to the weekly report. Similarly, for the administrative matters, I don't have anything to add to that weekly report. It's been kind of busy, but oh well.
Okay,
That's it.
any comments or questions to Mr. Ryan? Okay, and Mr. Ryan, just to make sure I heard that correctly, agenda item number 34, administrative matters, you have no comments.
Right. Nothing to add to that weekly report that I circulated earlier.
In that case, we are adjourned. Thank you.